Hello.
Hey Diana, how are you?
Hi, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm real good. I'm real good. Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Oh no, thank you so much you for
Yeah.
meeting. I had to cancel last week because my kids were sick, and then they just now went back to school today, feeling a little bit better.
Oh,
So
thank
that's
God.
good.
Thank God. No, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I was just looking over your results before we met, and man, you're really blowing up over here, huh?
Well, it's funny, Nick. When I scheduled the call, I just wanted to chat with you a little bit, and then I'm like, this Florida stuff it's not working. I don't want to spend energy where things are not going.
Right.
I think it's something that is, for a different type of market, not what I'm looking for. And then yesterday, just like leads started coming in from North Carolina left and right.
Great. Great.
Yes.
No, yeah, it's definitely been explosive. And normally the way these calls go, you can decide you are in control, but I'll cover the stats with you from your campaigns, and then you can hit me with the series of questions. But if you just want to, if you have questions you just want to ask me, you could ask me those too, and then I could cover the stats later or anything you want.
We can start with the stats and go from there.
Okay, you got it. All right, so I got your three campaigns pulled up here. We'll start with the Florida one. Um,
Okay.
the Florida one looks like it's doing pretty decent. I'm not too sure how everything has been looking on the on your half, but the lead flow here has been really good. Let me zoom in here a little bit for us. So here on the Florida, we've done 1,686 dials, 167 people answered, and then 14 became a lead. And these are really good stats, and I'll explain that to you now. So 167 conversations on 168 dials is a 9.91% contact rate, which is really good. You're almost at 10%. And that's actually like really high. Like if you were to talk to your friends that are real estate investors, they might be averaging anywhere from like 4 to 7, somewhere in there. And what that means is how many people we're speaking to. So we're speaking to a lot of people. And a good way for you to gauge that for us, 7 to 9 is average, 9 to 11 is great, and anything above 11 is just stellar.
Okay.
Okay, is a cool way to look at those. So on top of that, out of the 167 people, 29 of them, only 29 of them told us that we had the wrong number, which that's really good as well. So there we have 83% of the people we spoke to actually owned the property that we were calling about. So that's also a
Okay.
really good number. So a lot of people are answering, and most of those people, over 80%, do own the piece of land that we're calling about. So those are two great signs. And then that also translated into leads. So 14 leads on about 1,700 dials is really good. What I try to tell my clients is for land, you should average anywhere from 100 dials per lead to 250. Okay, anywhere in that range. All right. And for you at this, let me just do the math, 1686 divided by 14. You're at 120 dials per lead, which is awesome. So you're really like one of the top performers for land in this area right now. Okay. That's kind of like an internal gauge. 250 and higher, uh, it's not that that's bad, but we should look and see what's going on in the area, right? Like why, if we do go over 250, we just do a little bit of research. I'll probably ask you a couple of questions. That's one of the perks of having me here, as we can help finding the patterns with what's going on. Um, so that's that. And then down here is our text messaging. If I get a little bit more zoomed in here. So with our text messaging, we've done 1,803 text messages sent. 82 people replied, and then 22 of those became a lead. which is also really good. And I would gauge this off of about the same results. So if you're getting a lead in every 100 to 200 text messages, that is considered good. So 100 is really good. 200 is probably maybe closer to average. Okay. You kind of beat that out here. If we did the number, so we did 1803 divided by 22, you actually averaged a lead in every 82 text messages is what yours were, which is also a really good sign. So that's just kind of the numbers of it. Now that doesn't mean that the leads went good that you spoke to, right? That doesn't mean that like you closed deals or anything like that. But just I'm only reviewing it from a sheer numerical perspective and how it looks compared to other campaigns.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about this, or do you want me to move on to North Carolina?
No, no, it looks pretty good.
Okay.
So I
How
wish you
did,
would convert.
yeah,
So the thing
but
with Florida, so I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody. Some people, what they just like have called them back and called them back. Some people just like, respond the phone and then hang up.
yeah,
But with the people that I talked to, I send them offers. And the thing that I found there is that they want market value. That's the thing. They are really looking for market value or over market value. And
gotcha.
it's, and then, it's a busy area. I actually just I was
Mm,
in this Facebook group that I just joined in shortly, and they were just those specific zip codes. And they were giving the criteria of what they were looking for. So that's what I have found there.
okay, got it.
Has been
And that,
more of a
and
pricing thing.
I think that that might make sense too if it is like in a popular area, right? I think people could more so than ever like, hey, like I actually know what this is worth in a sense, right? That could be the case. Now, one thing I would consider is have you teamed up with a realtor at all for the retail value ones? And then seeing how maybe you could just send them to a realtor, or maybe they can. I know that realtors have like unique laws about like marketing
Mhm.
funds, but sometimes if you, and I do know a couple of Florida realtors, just so you know, um, but people that, could list the retail ones for you. That way, even if you don't make as much or anything at all, you're still like helping them and you're like kind of double marketing, right? The homeowner knows you're awesome and the realtor knows you're awesome now too. So like when you connect those two, so that might be a strategy. And I don't mean to stay in Florida. That's not what I'm saying. But whenever you come across a retail property, it might be great for you to like just feed those to a realtor and just get some goodwill from the realtor in
Okay.
general, you know?
Okay.
And I do
Okay.
know a couple of realtors too, so I can if you want a suggestion, I could help you out with that. Um, but I do think that that makes sense, and it might be a
I
good
like
way
that
to
idea.
convert a couple of the leads. And so right now, is the Florida campaign paused? If you want, I can pause the Florida one and we can keep going on the other ones.
I think so. Yes. I think that's how we
Let's
go with
pause
that.
it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I'll tell my team right now.
And then I have a realtor that I worked with before in Florida. I'm not sure if he is in that specific area. So I'll probably touch base with him. And then if no, I will
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
you for your contact.
Okay, great. And one sec. So I'm going to tell my team right now to pause the Florida campaign. And I'm just going to say until further notice. Okay. So
Okay.
until you get something, or maybe you do team up with the realtor, maybe they pay you, right? Maybe you find a realtor and you're like, look, I've got 10 of these leads, I'll sell these leads to you for $40 a pop or something, right? I mean, that's still
Mm.
$400. So it's like, you could maybe get creative, maybe even have them split with houses. I normally recommend investors find a realtor and try to get them to split the service cost with them. It's like, hey, I'll take all the crappy stuff, you take all the great stuff, right? And we'll just split it all. So that's some of the
Mhm.
cool stuff sometimes I like to
Mhm.
I'm always going for like the win-win, you know?
I
All
like
right, so
that. And I actually I did that one time in North Carolina with a couple lots that I couldn't sell myself. And I got in touch with a good realtor there. And at the end I was like, I mean, I cannot help these people, but I will just put them, in contact directly to you, and
right.
hopefully you can help them.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll jump over to North Carolina now. And
Okay.
this one's really doing better than the other one, which is cool. So North Carolina here, we've done 500 dials. 69 people answered, which that's huge. So that's almost a 14% contact rate. That's 13.8 on that one. Okay,
Mhm.
that's really good.
Very
And
good.
then um, and then 8 of those people became a lead. So that's huge. I mean, that's 8 leads on 500 dials. I'll just do the math. I just love math. Um, so that's a dial for every 62 leads. Excuse me, a lead for every
Need
62
for them.
dials. Um, so just crazy numbers there. And then we even had a better accuracy rate too. So only 9 people told us we had the wrong number. So 87% of the people we spoke to actually did own the property, which is great. Um, so that's awesome. And so a lot of people answered, a lot of right numbers, and it translated to a lot of leads in this case, which is really good. And then on the text messaging, you got 9 on 1,200. So that's looking a little bit more normal. Still very good, but not like insanely amazing. Let's do 1,232 divided by 9. So that is a lead in every 136 text messages, basically, which is cool. And also very good. I always say, but texting, it's about 1 to 200. And with cold calling, it's about 100 to 250 is how you can kind of gauge. And the closer you are to the lower, the more stellar your results are. And then how did these conversations go? These 17 leads here.
I haven't talked to them.
Okay.
Yes. But I did send everybody, I did send a text message telling them that I couldn't go back to them yesterday, but I will get back to them today.
Cool.
So I do have to schedule a few calls that people answer, and then the other ones I will just, call them and see where they are in there.
Okay, very cool. And then have you taken our onboarding course as well, Diana?
Yes, the YouTube, you have any the YouTube videos?
Yeah. Some of them are on
Yes.
YouTube, and then some of them are at like my online course area as well. And it
Well
kind of
then,
what I'll do is I'll email it to you um
okay.
after this call, and it's a really cool course. I tell you everything to say and everything to do whenever you like do call these leads. And so some of my strategies in there might help you convert more as well. So
Okay.
I've got some, and then you could also call even after you watch it. If you have questions, just call my cell phone. We'll talk about it right away. That way we can chat about it while it's fresh too. Um,
All right, no, thank you.
yeah, but yeah, I would check that out too. But okay, cool. So we're on our way to following up with these guys. And then any questions about this before I move on to the next one?
No. Oh, actually, I did had a question. I don't know if it's a North Carolina thing, but my approach has been kind of like going with out-of-state owners first.
Yeah.
Um, and then so when they pulled the list, it was about like 4,800, I think, records. And out of those, like 3,000 and some change were from North Carolina in the state.
Oh, interesting.
So I
Interesting.
don't
And
know. I mean,
that's
there's still, two people, still responding. So I mean, that's fine.
well,
I
I
was just
think
curious.
well, it looks like what we did out of that is we only pulled 556 out of it. So in the North Carolina list, there may have been
Oh, it's in the
4,000.
next one, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
the next, yeah, let me see here. Yeah, this one was 2,500. I think that we may have only taken the out of states out of that list is probably what we did for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that way
Got
that
it.
this did end up just being all out of state as well,
Mhm.
I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
Um, okay, yeah, very cool. And let me see what else there is. Okay. And then for the next one, oh, this is nationwide. Okay, so this was a list that you provided to us.
Yes, yeah. It was
This one's
so I was in the business in I did in 2022. In 2023, a lot of things happened and I just stopped the business completely for a year, like for 9 months. Last time that I was in North Carolina, and I just completely stopped. So I just restarted the business again, and this was just the list of a lot of people that I never follow up with. Honestly, I send them the offer,
Mm,
and I never follow up with them on a phone, on anything, nothing.
got
It was
it.
terrible. So I was like, you know what, maybe that's how I can jump and start the cold calling and get kind of touch those people again that way, because they probably don't even remember me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
No,
that's the list.
that's actually really smart. So we actually call this a dead lead campaign, quote unquote, right?
Okay.
And so a lot of customers, I have a customer who hires me every 3 months and he sends me all the leads he failed to follow up with every 3 months. And just like this, because I was going to ask, this is your best performing campaign. So I was like, where the hell did this list come from? This one's doing so good. But that makes sense that you said that because there's someone that already said yes in the past
Yes.
and then something happened. Okay. That's really good. And this was a great idea to send this over to us. As you can see, so we got 6 leads on 200 dials, which that's like a world record for us. That's crazy. And then on the text messages, we got 9 leads on 97 text messages. That is wow. I'm going to do that math just to do it. Every got a text message, a lead every 10 text messages is what we got there. So that was definitely a good run as well. And then have you followed up with these guys yet? Have you called any of these?
No, they came yesterday too. So
Oh, okay.
yesterday I was actually, yeah, um,
Oh yeah,
kind
this
of
is all
putting all the
pro.
notes and everything in the CRM, to have
Yeah.
them ready for today. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're going to have a great day today. You're going to be following up.
Yes.
So one thing I recommend doing, so this is in my course. Okay. So one thing I recommend doing with these leads, and it's probably good you haven't called them yet, is I recommend you have this vibe to you. Okay. You want to call them up and go, hey, how's it going? You spoke to someone on my team about your 3-acre piece of land that you were considering selling. Oh, yeah, yeah, that was me. Oh, great. Well, so I just got your information. And what I'm going to do over the next 2 days is run comps and also do some online research. And then what I'm going to do is if this property fits, I'm going to send you an offer via email. Could I just get your email real fast so I could send you an offer? Okay. This is like,
Okay.
and what this is going to save you time and money because every time you mail an offer, you have to pay for it. Right.
Yes.
And so in this case, and not everyone's going to give you their email. And if they don't, okay, no problem. I'm going to mail it to you. Is that okay? So now you're just getting it. So yes, we either get their email and we email it using DocuSign or something like that, or we mail it to them if they refuse or don't have an email. Then I recommend you saying, now look, I'm going to send this offer over. Just feel free to call me if you have any questions or if you have any feedback for me about this. Or even if we're close on price, you just let me know. And what you're doing here is you're you're kind of bracing them in a unique way for a low offer to make sure that look, don't get mad at me, just talk to me. That's really your energy, right? And so then I say 24 hours after you know they receive it, I would follow up with them, right? Hey, what did you think? Uh, what was there something you didn't like about it? Were we close on price? Okay, those are the 3 questions I would probably ask them. And what you want to find out is, you know, in some cases, if you're offering low enough, you might be able to come up $10,000 and still make $20,000 off of this, right? So that's why you really want the conversation to go. And with land, I've learned with houses, you have to negotiate up front. right? Before we do anything, you know, you got to negotiate. But with land, you want to make the offer and then negotiate on the back end after they receive it. But that's why you want to sound friendly and warm and welcome their criticism of the offer, so they don't just go, "Oh, what an idiot. I would never sell for that much." Like, you know, click, you know, it's like, you don't like, I don't want you upset. I want your land, right? And so I think that that strategy would probably help a lot.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Be the seller. I just heard you saying it so many times and I forgot in a podcast that I was listening
Well,
from
I can say it again. You want me to say what I would say,
yeah.
what I would say to the seller? Yeah. And just so you know, this is in the course I'm going to send you to. Okay. So
Okay.
I have like a whole course it's only like 30 minutes long. It's not a long thing. But so if you need to freshen up, I probably have some more nuggets in there too that I would watch. But I would say I never use their name. Okay. Never
Okay.
use their name unless you know for a fact it's their name. You follow me? And that like, and then that's if they told you. What you want to do is you want to use our name. Okay. That's the name you want to use, because if you say their name wrong, or if it's not them, they're going to tell you it's a wrong number, but it's not a wrong number, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. But so you want to call them up and say, "Hey, you just spoke." If my name is on the lead, bring up my employee's name. "Hey, you just spoke to Sherry about 123 Sycamore Street." "Oh yeah, I sure did." Okay. And then if there's no name, "Hey, you were speaking to someone on my team, or you were speaking to my partner about selling your 3-acre piece of land in Texas." Right. So mention the acre sizes and mention the state. Okay.
Okay.
And then mention either partner or their name. Then, "Oh yeah, yeah, that was me." So first we want to make sure that we're talking to the right person. Okay, great. "Well, I just got your information, and over the next 2 days, I'm going to do some online research, and I'm going to see if this property is right for me. If it is right for me, I'm going to send you an offer via email. It's going to come in. It's going to be official. I like to say, I'm going to send you an official offer via email." Okay. And that way, like, we're making it sound real, important. Like, this is going to, I'm not wasting your time, is the whole point of saying that. Right. And then, so so we're either going to have their email for you. So confirm that. "Hey, so I have your email here that my team got from you. Is this right?" "Okay, great. Keep an eye open over the next 48 hours for an offer on that." Or if they go, you know, "I don't use email, or I don't want to give it to you, I'm not comfortable." "Okay, great. Is it okay with you if I mailed the offer directly to your house? I do have your home address here." Okay. And then confirm the home address. That's what I would recommend. Okay. Um, and then say, "And now look, when you get this offer, if you have any questions or any feedback, or if we're close on price, I just want you to reach out to me and let me know." I think that's the real important part of the call, right? We're training them on what to do if they're unhappy. Right? Just how if I have a customer, I would say, "If you're unhappy, call me," right? If something doesn't go right, call me. I would say the same thing to my customer, if that makes sense, right? Well, you're providing, but if I never said that to you, you'd be like, "Man, that guy, he's not available," but like I might be, you know. So we always want to train them on what we want them to do if they're unhappy. And then that's basically it. I'd get right off the phone. I don't think you have a lot to talk to them about. I think your goal, make sure that you're a real person, make sure you're a friendly person, and then make sure that they know they can ask you questions if they have questions. And I think that those are the main purposes of that call.
Okay. All right. Did you ever go, I guess a little bit on their motivation
You know, I
on
personally,
selling?
in my opinion, I think that comes out afterward, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I think that on the follow-up call, if they're happy or not happy, if they're not happy, I think we kind of flip it on them. right? If they're not happy, we go, oh, I understand that wasn't a good offer. So do you think it's worth for is what they think it's worth, right? So let's say they're not happy with the offer. Okay, well, what's is it worth more? I said, I don't know, maybe I missed something. Like you want to act innocent, right? Like, is there a lake on the property or nearby? Or is there like any beautiful views? Like you're already like on their team, like talk me into it being worth more, right? Then
Okay.
if that doesn't work, then you could say, well, look, what were your plans with the property when you bought it? I think that's a really good question, right? And then through that, you should really find their motivation, right? So it's like, oh, well, I bought it for this, and then this happened, and my wife said she didn't want to invest in that anymore. So we're selling. So like, I think that that's how I would play out the conversation when they say no. Everything I think is on the back end after the offer.
Okay. That's very yeah, that's very different.
It is different, right?
Yeah, I have yeah, done it before for sure.
Yeah, and I
That's
think,
interesting.
and so I've been teaching that. Now, I don't invest in land. I'm going to be 100% transparent. Okay. I don't invest, but I've been teaching that for a very long time, for about 3 months now, religiously to all of my customers. And they seem to be getting really, really good results. And I think if you do it right, you sound the friendly, and I'll send you this recording too. So you'll have this was a good call for us. So I'll send you this. So this is a great training session. I might even use this to train people, but I think if you do match my things, I think that you'll see it's probably the same thing you're doing now, just in a different order, right? It's
Yes.
like
Uh-huh.
offer warm and friendly, then let's negotiate. Because I think with land, what I've learned from my clients is they don't want to talk to you about anything until they know you're making an offer. So I think when you like make the offer, they're like, okay, this person's not wasting my time. Now maybe I'll talk to them about stuff. But a lot of feedback I get from as they're like, make an offer, dude, make an offer. Like they're just like, I don't, that's the difference between lands and houses. With the house, we got to talk about the roof and the floor, and we got to talk about grandma. You know what I mean? We're talking about all this stuff before we
Yeah, they
get
have
there.
a lot of sentiment. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And Nick, if and I'm taking a little longer, but if
It's okay.
I would like to maybe know your thoughts on like different. I mean, I right now I like North Carolina. I have worked before, and I like it, and I like Texas. I did some deals in Texas with letters. I don't know if that maybe translate into calls too.
I
I
think it
mean,
would.
Texas is pretty big, but
No, I think it would. There's two places I would not work. There's three places I would not work in the whole nation. Okay.
okay.
These are the only three places that I've seen suck. All right.
Mhm.
And that is um, Orlando, Florida,
Okay.
Houston, Texas, and Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Okay.
Now
That's
we
pretty
can
busy.
still get leads in all three of those markets. We can't, but you get way less leads. Okay, is something to consider. Every other market, I've seen us really get really good results, similar to kind of what you're seeing. So I would say if you're comfortable in Texas and you've done some deals there and you're not in one of those two cities, I say let's do more in Texas, is what I would do.
Already. Already. Thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's
I had
really
a
good.
good call
Thank
too.
you.
And I'll make sure that someone on my team emails this over to you, and I'll send my courses as soon as we hang up here.
All right, Nick. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.